Like that.
What was that?
I'm just letting all the air out, bro. I'm just letting all the air out, bro. You know.
Well, the air started to go out around 8 o'clock Eastern time, Vince. So after
It's funny, bro. There was a report today of the old the last the third quarter or fourth quarter conference call or whatever you want to call it, right? Where Vince McMahon, I think, said for the first time in the history of the company, they've gone over $1 billion.
Whoa.
And he's talking about all the revenue and all the money they're making. They're going to continue to make more money and more revenue with international deals, yada, yada, yada. Bro, this product ain't going to change. This product has no bearing whatsoever on the $1 million they're making.
Nope.
Bro, I don't even know if these deals with international partners, I don't know if they even have any clue what's on the show, the difference between a good show and a bad show, the number of viewers that I don't know, bro. But Vince seemed pretty confident with all this money he's making, and bro, there's no reason to put anything on Monday night other than a live house show. That's it. That's what
correct.
We're getting. A live house show, bro. It's been that for a while now.
See, Vince, you can't play any WWE clips or at all with sound, or they will ping you and try to block you from YouTube. And if I did, I would play the clip of Vince McMahon saying, "It's all about the money. It's all about the money."
Yeah,
that's what he said.
Yeah,
and that's what it's really all about. It's all about the money.
Yep.
Well, happy Valentine's Day to you and yours, Mr. Vince Russo.
Chris.
Hope you had a great day, man.
Yep.
Yes, indeed. My wife gave me merci. We're not getting paid to brand this stuff, but I'm putting my wife over. So the finest assortment of European chocolate.
Oh, nice, bro. Yeah. Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah. Got some good chocolate. I'm not really a chocolate guy, but good selection. She made a good choice.
Nice.
Made me a nice steak dinner as I was coming home from the gym.
Beautiful.
And great Valentine's Day. I took her out to some very expensive steakhouse. She doesn't eat steak, but I do. So on Saturday I took her out to some bougie
very nice
restaurant. It was pretty cool. We had a good time. Good weekend, with the exception of the Bengals losing.
Yeah, man, I lost some money on the Bengals too. I picked them to straight out win, bro.
Okay.
Okay. Two plays to get 1 yard, bro. That's what it comes down to.
1 minute and 25 seconds. If that was less on the clock, the Bengals would have won. But the Bengals. So I'm a Titans fan, as you know, but I'm a huge Ohio. Ohio guy. I'm an Ohio guy, born and raised. Still live in Ohio. So I was rooting for the Bengals through and through, and it was a good game, with the exception of the offensive line of the Bengals. Absolutely is suspect. It's terrible. A horrible offensive line. They allowed 51 sacks for Joe Burrow throughout the season. 9 sacks against the Texans, 7 sacks against the Rams.
Well, at least they know what they got to do in the offseason, right?
Yes, they have to get some linemen. They have to.
Yeah.
So I'll get to Raw, but I can go on and on about football because I enjoy football way more than I do Raw. But we're here to talk about Raw. So this is the last Raw before the Elimination Chamber. That's at Saudi. This is the go home show. I remember back in the day, Vince, when go home shows were actually very, very fun to watch because it was important. It really was for the purpose of giving the viewer the last minute. I remember back in the day when pay-per-views were legit and you had the pay-per-view, and I would be on the fence, Vince. Like I would be a teenager, 16, 17, 18 years old, 19 years old, on the fence. And that go home show would really turn the needle for me. It would really kind of like, oh, I don't know. Maybe I get it. And then I would see like that big old go home show, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it.
That was my job, bro, to get your money. I mean, that was my job. I guess that's nobody's job anymore because they've got enough money.
Yes, indeed.
Evidently.
Go home shows literally mean go home. Like
Yes.
go home and don't participate in coming to this show because it's not very good. Well, it was in Indianapolis, Indiana this week, and we start off with a Bobby Lashley MVP with MVP promo. So I want to do something fun today. All right. I wanted to take us back down to memory lane, and I wanted to actually do the Steiner Math promo. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You ready, Vince?
Yes.
Again, you run it when he was doing this, right?
Yes.
So MVP started to talk about some math during their promo before it was interrupted by all the other people. But I was like, MVP's giving us the math. And it made me think of the infamous Steiner Math promo. So to the best of my ability, all right, I can give you a Keith Lee, I can give you a Mumbles. I have good impersonations of a few people. Some people say I have a good Donald Trump and a good Barack Obama. And so I got a few things up my sleeve, okay? But very good at Steiner, but I'll do my best, all right? So here we go. You know, they say all men are created equal, but you look at me, you can smell Joe, and you can see the statement's not true. See, normally, if you go one-on-one with another wrestler, you get a 50-50 chance of winning. But I'm a genetic freak, and I'm not normal. So you get 25% at best and beat me. Then you add Kurt Angle to the mix, your chance of winning drastically go down. See, 3 at you got a 33% chance winning, but I got a 66 2/3 chance winning because Kurt Angle knows he can't beat me, and he's not even going to try. So, Samoa Joe, you take your 33% chance minus my 25% chance, and you got an 8 1/3% chance to win and sacrifice. But then you take my 75% chance of winning, and if you was to go one-on-one and then at 66 2/3%, I got a 141 2/3% chance of winning a sacrifice. See, Joe, the numbers don't lie, and it's been a disaster for you at sacrifice. There you go, Vince. Start it out.
Not bad. Where's my applause button? Not bad, bro. Not bad at all.
Holler if you hear me, baby.
Yes. Very nice. That's the highlight of the evening. Good night, everybody.
Thank you.
It's not going to get better than that, bro. That's awesome.
No, it's not going to get better than Starter Math, ladies. So they try to hype us up with all the beginning, ladies and gentlemen, with all the people. And Brock Lesnar actually made Austin Theory look like an absolute weak punk.
Bro, they look like boys. He looked like a boy in there. When Rollins was smart enough to at least try to keep his distance from Lesnar, because when he leaned in, you could see the difference between size of those two guys. And bro, like this had nothing to do with trying to pique our interest going into Sunday. This was a pop fest, bro. Here comes Lashley, pop. Here comes Rollins, pop. Here comes Riddle, pop. Here comes Austin, pop. Here comes AJ, pop. Here comes that's all it is, bro. These are house show pops. That's all there are. What did we get out of this segment, bro? What did we get out of the first 15 minutes of the show? Valuable television time. We got Brock Lesnar F5ing Austin Theory. Who gives a flying you know what? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Zero. Goose egg. Nothing, Chris. Nothing.
The one who least needs to have a segment to get over is the one who got over. Like you're trying Brock Lesnar out of all 6, the one who needs the least amount of time to try to get over got over the most. I don't understand how you build stars, Vince, with putting the person over who least needs to be put over in this segment. It just doesn't make sense to me at all.
And bro, please correct me if I'm wrong, but did I miss a Vince Austin Theory on this show?
No, there was no Vince Austin segment on this. No, there was no.
So we could assume now, based on what we've seen, the Royal Rumble, based on this, we could assume now Austin Theory is a loser. And Vince McMahon now is going to be done with him. That's what we're assuming now, right?
It seems like they pulled the plug on Austin Theory.
Okay, great, beautiful. That was worth everybody's time for the last 2 months.
At least we got mumbles out of it.
Yeah.
So at least the Legion of Raw got some laughs from the SK Nation from it. So I guess that worked out very well.
Yep.
Yeah, it seems like they pulled the plug after the Rumble. I think right after the Rumble there was nothing, and then after that it was like it wasn't even an actual verbal segment. They were just showing. They just showed like the both
going into commercial. Going into commercial.
Yeah. And that was it. So I think it's safe to say that Vince, again, why? You explain, like, you were there, Vince. Okay, you were there. Please explain to me now,
Chris.
We didn't.
I'm going to explain it to you. I'm going to explain it to you.
Let me set the stage real quick.
Go ahead.
Explain to me how this. Now, again, you were there 25 years ago when Vince was in his late 50s, early 60s. Okay, so he was in his early 50s 25 years ago. Late 40s, early 50s. Okay, so you please explain to me how a 50, 49, 50, 51, 52-year-old Vince can really lock in to make a star, but 76-year-old Vince is just start, stop. Damien Priest, Austin Theory, like just start, stop. Why? Explain that to me.
I'm gonna give you my theory. Bro, listen, we've got to give the WWE credit. We've got to go back to the Triple H conversation with Ryback. There isn't going to be another John Cena.
Yep.
Nobody is going to be bigger than the WWE. You're going to buy the brand. You're going to buy the WWE. That's what they're selling. And bro, give them credit because they've done exactly that. Nobody's been bigger than Cena. Nobody's close. And they are selling the brand, but they're not selling the brand to viewers. They're selling the brand to business partners. Yep. So if that was the game plan, bro, then the game plan is working. Chris, I wrapped up today Vince versus Vince on my Patreon, patreon.com/Russo TWC. I wrapped it up with the last email exchange between Vince and I. And I'll say this much, Chris. I let him go last, and I didn't even acknowledge his last email to me. Because, Chris, here's what I think is going on. The fact that these blind business partners are making these mega deals with them only to find out they're finishing up on the short end of the stick. Peacock's finishing up on the short end of the stick. Fox isn't getting the numbers they wanted. USA isn't getting the numbers they wanted. A lot of money was invested. WWE got the money, but now the partners are falling short of the goals. But I'm telling you, bro, I think Vince has convinced himself that because this is the first time the company has ever made $1 billion, bro, I think he thinks the product's fine.
Yeah.
And I think when if people tune in to watch the Vince versus, I read his email, bro. I think people will see he actually believes the product is fine. And I got a shout out to people listening to this show. Guys, if you hate this show and you're still watching it, then Vince McMahon is right. I mean, he is absolutely right. Then the product is fine. If you're still watching the product and you're still investing your time, then the product is fine. So honestly, Chris, I think he's looking at the money, and to him, that somehow is translating into the product is okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna chalk it up, Vince, to people love this show so much that they'll be willing to watch Raw to watch Legion.
I hope so. I mean, I hope so, bro, because again, you're looking at 3 hours of absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing, bro. We put Jilly's old stuff in back. Like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, are you bro? You're in a writer's room and somebody with a straight face is pitching that?
Yeah, I don't think they have a straight face when they're pitching it. That's the thing. At this point, I don't think they have a straight face anymore. Speaking of pitching, the Street Profits, and this is weird to me. Again, back to the whole Ryback effect is what I call it. When Ryback said that Triple H told him that no one's going to transcend the business no more. Speaking of the Ryback effect, the Street Profits, before they go out to the ring, they do Gordon Soley's job and they do Lance Russell's job, and they promote the whole Raw before they go out to their match. I'm like, what are we doing here? Are you like, color analysts now? Like, are you like play-by-plays? Are you like announcers now? Are you like, we got a good one in Evansville. They're pulling a Lance Russell on us back in Continental, and promoting the whole show before they go out in their tag match. I'm like, how in the world would you build up? Like, it's like the Legion of Doom, like cutting a promo about like everything that's happening on the, WCW or NWA event before they go out. No, like that's not how you build talent, by putting other people over on the show before their match. That made absolutely no sense to me.
And bro, to add insult to injury, if I'm a casual fan and I want to say, okay, let's see what's on Raw tonight, and they're laying out what's on Raw tonight, well, guess what, bro? I better find something else to watch because there's nothing on this show that I care about.
The Olympics are on. So
exactly. I mean, absolutely, bro. Send people to the Olympics. There's nothing here I want to see.
Absolutely. And what made it even worse was they beat the Dirty Dogs because someone from NXT, Tommaso Ciampa, helped them by interfering, by throwing water onto Dolph Ziggler, who's who's kind of doing the whole AJ role now on NXT. I really don't understand how they say. We always talk about going back to the well, right? So when they have the yellow and black NXT brand, and I know that I'm just going to give you a quick skinny, when it comes to NXT, the not the original ones, because the original ones was the competition, but when they started to become its own brand, the gold, like the yellow and black type of deal. So they had some really good talent. I mean, a lot of people came from NXT. Seth Rollins, Jinder Mahal, Big E, Roman Reigns. When Kevin Owens came from Ring of Honor, he went to NXT. Sami Zayn was another one. Shinsuke Nakamura, he went through NXT. Finn Balor went through NXT. A lot of people went through NXT, and a lot of people, there was probably a few years. I mean, Neville, Pac, he was really big on NXT. Even some people went back to NXT and kind of rebranded themselves, like Zack Ryder when he was teaming with Mojo Rawley's the Hype Bros. Tyson Kidd went to NXT and had a decent run. Cesaro went to NXT. So there was a lot of people who actually became popular, kind of went through the NXT. Even Drew McIntyre went through NXT. Adam Cole, Undisputed Era. They never came up from NXT, but Drew McIntyre, he used that as a passageway. So NXT was actually pretty good, for a few years, but for some reason they wanted to rebrand the whole thing, and then they do this whole rainbow splash, NXT branding, but at the same time, they're pulling from main roster guys now because the ratings has dipped quite a bit over the past year or so. I think they're really trying to break around the 6 mark. Sometimes they have 6. I think recently they had a 7. They popped a little bit of a rating, but they usually have about a little bit below to a little bit above 600,000 now, as opposed to during their combating within it with Dynamite, they were at the 7s and the 8s. So they've dipped. So they're pulling from the well of the main roster, which is what they did with AJ Styles, which is now what they're doing with Dolph Ziggler, to be in the NXT title hunt. And so I'm thinking in my head, why are they trying to rebrand this NXT and then still pull from the well of the main roster while you fire everybody, Regal, Joe? You know what I mean? It makes absolutely no sense to me of why they're doing
Well, on top of that, too, Chris, you got to understand from the casual fan point of view, who's Ciampa? How are they supposed to know who this guy is?
Yeah, I mean,
if I don't watch, if only 500,000 people are watching NXT, whatever, and 1.5 million people are watching Raw, that's a small percent. How are we supposed to know who this guy is?
I've said that before, Vince. If you have around 600,000 people watching NXT, and you have 1.5 to 1.7 right now is where they kind of hang out around on Raw, you have an average of 1 million people who don't watch NXT. You're catering to 600,000 of the 1.6 million who watch Raw. So 1 million people don't engage themselves in the NXT.
Bro,
you need to build them.
You know what the problem is, Chris? Here's the problem. And again, this is because of the networks wanting content, because content is king, so they will pay premium price for content. Here's the problem.
Yeah.
They have now oversaturated the market.
Oh, absolutely.
But the problem is the wrestling product is not good enough to get people to watch it all. Yeah. That's the problem. I may watch SmackDown. I ain't gonna watch SmackDown and Raw. I may watch Dynamite. I ain't gonna watch. It's not good enough to get people to watch 3, 4, 5 hours of it, bro. That is the problem. And again, bro, that goes back to the network. We need content. We need programming. Can you do another show? Yeah, bro, we'll do another show, but we're gonna saturate the market and nobody's gonna watch the other show.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely.
And I don't blame the WWE. I don't blame AEW, bro. If a network is going to give you a check, take that freaking check. Yeah. I do not blame you. But it's not good enough, bro, that I've got to watch 5 hours of Raw and I got to watch 3 hours of AEW. It's not good enough.
Yeah. And people are saying we know who Ciampa is. Of course, we know who Ciampa is.
Right.
You have to think about it. At this point, who are we? We are the hardcore fans of pro wrestling. And at this point, as we've seen, the we has become very small. It's become substantially smaller. And again, people are saying that he was in ROH. And again, I'm a big fan of ROH. I know people at ROH. I have close knits in the business with people in ROH. Friends with PCO. Awesome dude. So I will defend PC. I would defend ROH to the thread. But at the end of the day, you have to understand from a ROH standpoint, that number from a knowledge base is even smaller than NXT is as far as viewership is concerned.
Right.
So people saying, okay, he came from ROH. Of course, yeah, he was in the House of Truth with Truth Martini and all that's like, I get it. But again, who are we? And we are not the casual fans. So you can't cater to we, because we are going to stay regardless of what happens. You have to play to the casuals, and the casuals are not a part of the we crowd.
Bro, I've been in the wrestling business since 1991, Chris. So what is that, 31 years? Chris, in 31 years, I've never seen one Ring of Honor show. Not one. Not one in 30. And I'm in the business. So what about those casual television viewers?
Yeah, that's true. You can't assume that everybody knows someone. Even with actors. You can't just bring in Denzel on a movie and say, okay, Denzel's in it, so you're just going to buy it. No, you need trailers, you need promos, you need all those things. Even if Denzel's in the movie, you're still going to spend the money on the promos, the advertisements, the trailers to get you hyped. They don't just say, hey, Leeds in the Raw featuring Denzel Washington. Movies coming out on Friday. No, we need a trailer. Why am I? Okay, Denzel Washington's in it. Cool. But why am I buying this? Why am I interested in watching this movie as opposed to all the other Denzel movies? That's what trailers are for.
Yep.
That's what vignettes should be for, to hype people to get to watch something, to get a buy-in into the character.
Yep.
But they don't do that. They just say, hey, Denzel's going to be in the movie. Buy it. No, I need a trailer first. Show me why I should buy this. Next, we have Arcade, the Broga Party backstage segment. And
Chris, what the funny thing is, I was reading something yesterday with, bro, we are prices are going up so fast and furious now. I mean, the food prices and gas prices. And bro, I feel it with the brand. I could see it with the brand. The first thing that's going to go is something you don't need. I get it and I understand it. Bro, do you know, compared to this time last year, for the same bills and the same living, the average family, bro, is spending an additional $250 more this year than last year. $250 just gone. Bro, with that being said, I'm looking at that based on the brand. Like, okay, what changes do I... How is the WWE not looking at that? That is going to affect them even more, bro. That is going to affect house shows, ticket buying, merchandise. That is going to affect that. And now more than ever, you should be upping your game. That's what we're doing at the brand. I'm adding new shows. I'm juggling the lineup. I have to do that now, bro, because everything is more expensive, and now everybody is vying for that, but not them. Yeah. It's like you said, bro, people are just going to come. Oh, really? Based on this? Right. Based on this, people are coming, bro?
Right. I agree 100%. That's like having a really bad sitcom and saying, hey, so Denzel's coming on next season, you're watching? You know what I mean? I still need buy-in. Like, it's not very good. At least give me a reason. Next we have so this is interesting. The Randy Orton backstage interview. So it seems like from what I noticed throughout the show, it definitely seems like a tease is happening. So he has the Broga party, Riddle does. Where's Randy? Randy has his own interview, and then he says the three most dangerous words or devastating letters or whatever it is. So it used to be RK Bro, but he's kind of standing alone today and saying, he says RKO. So those subtleties seems like those are just seeds planted for an actual split. It seems like the split might happen during their tag team title match, whenever it's scheduled.
But Chris, do you see the problem with that? In one scene, he's saying RKO and not RK Bro.
Yeah.
And in the next scene, he's leaving his match to
Yeah.
go help Riddle.
Yeah.
You see the disconnect there, bro.
Yeah.
Now, if that's where they're going, and if that's the story they're trying to tell slowly, he's going to concentrate on his match. He's not going to get involved with what's going on. That's the disconnect right there. And bro, I just had a crack up because, bro, these knucklehead writers are all sitting in a room, whatever they can get out of Bro. So this was a Broga party. That's what they're sitting around. Whatever we can get out of Bro, that's what we're gonna do. Oh my god! And bro, meanwhile, what's the game they were playing with the what do they call that game? Pop with the ball in the red cups, and you got what's that called? These kids today. What was it? Help us out in the peanut gallery over here.
Yeah, come on, focus group.
Beer pong.
Beer pong. Yeah,
Wait a minute. I thought this was a kid show. So now we're playing beer pong on the kids show, but when it's convenient to be a kids show, bro, they are so all over the place. It's not even funny. They're playing beer pong on a children's show because 10 minutes later we're going to have a doll.
Yes. Very, very aptly put there.
Yeah.
Video package they had of Rocky Johnson. They showed from SmackDown. Very nice narration from The Rock. I watched it originally on SmackDown. It was really good package to commemorate Soul Man Rocky Johnson. Did you ever have any? You had some interaction because they did the Rocky Maivia and Rocky Johnson when they had one segment on in WWE where you were there once, right?
Yeah, I'm sure I came across his path several times.
Yeah, they had a tag team. They had a tag team segment when Rocky Johnson saved Rocky Maivia. I think he was still Rocky Maivia at the time.
I remember when it was his tag team partner back in the day was Tony Atlas, right?
Tony Atlas, yeah.
I remember that I remember watching.
First African American tag team champions, I believe.
Yeah, I remember watching that. Yep.
Yeah. So we get the Kevin Owens promo next. So last week, he talked about Texas. I believe they were in Houston, if I'm not mistaken. And so they had a poll about him in Texas. And so he started to cut. So they showed last week's promo and I actually skipped it because I thought it was just last week's promo. And so I had all this buzz going on. I had a bunch of stuff sent to me. And I actually had to rewind the show to see that promo because he actually had in addition to that promo, when he just started bashing Texas. And so he said, it might not make it to WrestleMania. And then he talks about, and so he just like heals it up. Like he's kind of been doing the babyface thing, kind of. And then all of a sudden he heals it up a little bit last week, but he's like clear cut trying to get the heat. So this all makes sense to the rumor of he might be the person who goes against a possible returning Stone Cold Steve Austin in Dallas, Texas.
Oh,
At
please,
WrestleMania 38.
please, no.
19 years, ladies and gentlemen.
Please. I got to ask you a question, Chris, because I did not listen here. So was he cutting a heel promo here?
Oh yeah, he was healing it up all the way tonight.
Can we talk about disconnect again, Chris?
Yeah.
So he's cutting a heel promo on Texas.
Yep.
Okay, Chris. I thought he was supposed to be a heel on last week's show because he was teaming with Seth Rollins and Randy Orton RKO'd him twice.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking he's a heel. Then during the week, bro, he puts out a tweet putting over the towns that they were just in. He put over Denver and whatever 2 towns follow. 3 greatest nights of my life. You guys were a great crowd, blah, blah, blah. He's putting over the towns, and now he's burying. See, do they not see the Bro, listen, maybe they got this grandiose story or game plan. Maybe they do, but I'm telling you, we're not getting it. We're not understanding it. 1 week, he's a heel. That same week, bro, he's putting over all these great towns that he was in, and he had great matches, and he wants to thank everybody. The following week, he's ripping Texas.
It seems like so this is what I get from this, Vince. And thank you, Kevin, for your comment, by the way, in the chat. So here's the thing. So this is what I get from this whole segment. Okay. It seems like, okay, so right now, WrestleMania, we don't have the thrill enough, because I just heard that they had like some two for sale for Valentine's Day for WrestleMania tickets still. You know what I mean? And so like, and they've been on sale for a while, and it's, less than 2 months away. So they had some 2 for sale. And so like they're trying to get WrestleMania to be exciting, because the Goldberg Reigns trilogy for WrestleMania just isn't it. Like that's the big sell, and that's not it, because people are just tired of watching.
Bro, Austin and Owens ain't it. I'm getting right back to the casual fans, bro.
Yes,
they don't. Nobody cares about Kevin Owens, bro. No casual fan cares about this dude. Nobody, bro. Nobody.
See, how many bodies?
I swear to God, Chris, I'm going to tell you something. I actually saw Owens debut at NXT with Sami Zayn. I saw that. Bro, that's the best thing I've ever seen Owens do to date. He never got better than that. And bro, and I'm telling you, bro, here's what the casual fan gets out of this. And I'm just being honest, bro. Why is Austin wrestling this sloppy fat guy? I'm telling you, bro, that's how the casual fan will look at it. He means nothing, bro. And bro, let me tell you something. Austin knows he means nothing, but if there's enough zeros in Austin's paycheck, he's gonna do it. But Austin knows that's not a match anybody cares about.
I think that's for the casual. I think for the hardcore fans. See, here's the thing, Vince, and back to my point. I think this is what the WWE is thinking of. They're saying, okay, Goldberg versus Reigns, the trilogy isn't really drawing the people that we thought. So guess what we're about to do? We're about to go back to the well. All right. So they probably looked at ticket sales, and they're probably like, okay, this is Dallas. Let's put a bunch of zeros on, behind Austin's offer. Come on, we're trying to get some ticket sales. 5-minute match. You and Kevin Owens. Owens uses the stunner. You take the stunner back. That's the tie-in right there. And athletically, Owens could complement Austin's weaknesses. I mean, Austin is not going to do a catch as catch can
I understand
match
that, and
at
nobody cares.
50. What?
Right.
What's he? He was born in what, 64? So like, I don't know what. So he's what, 57, about to be 58 years old this year. So at 57 years old, Austin is 5 minutes tops, right? And so he's not going to get into tip top shape in the next 6 weeks. He's going to go out there probably in his shorts and t-shirt. He'll probably stun Owens within, I doubt if the match lasts 5 minutes, but they'll do this to bring people back for the sake of Austin and not Owens.
Chris, I'm going to ask you one simple question. How long has it been since Austin wrestled?
19 years. WrestleMania 19 was 2003.
Did CM Punk bring the people back?
No, but that's apples to oranges to me. Punk versus Austin.
We're talking about time, Chris. We're talking about time. That's what we're real. Okay. Yes, CM Punk to Austin is apples and oranges, but we're talking about time. Bro, those people that watched Austin 19 years ago, think about it, bro. Where are they now? What are they doing now? Do you think they're watching this now? Do you think 19 years after the fact they would be interested in some? Bro, here's what they need to do. They need a freaking publicity stunt. Bro, honestly, bro, I would go back to the well of the score was never really settled between Steve Austin and Mike Tyson. I mean, that's what I would do. There would be more interest in that, bro, than Austin and freaking Kevin Owens. I could tell you that.
Or as Austin, or as Tyson would call Austin, Cold Stone.
Exactly. I mean, the promos alone would be freaking money.
Cold Stone, Steve Austin, you still want some of me? I don't know, man.
I just listen, man. I'm all for Austin making a truckload of money, but oh my God, I don't want to see that.
I think, well, I don't want to see it either. But I think that people will. I think that there would be a small handful of people who would come back to wrestling for the sake of seeing Austin go again once.
I think they're gone after 20 years, bro. Bro, this isn't The Rock, who's the world's biggest movie star on the Super Bowl and still in the
heck of a promo of the Super Bowl, by the way.
Yeah, right. Yeah. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about a guy, 19 years hasn't wrestled and is doing a podcast. That's where it's two different animals, bro. And again, it's nothing against Austin. I just think, bro, 20 years ago, a lot of those people have moved on, man. They've moved on.
Yeah. I think that most of the people have moved on. I think probably, if anything, Austin coming back will pull about I say a good 5K. I think he'll pull about 5K as far as people who would watch WrestleMania to see him compete again. I think they'll play a bunch of promos of Austin, and they'll refresh people. They'll do the Austin versus McMahon thing. They'll have a bunch of Austin moments throughout the time. I told you this before, Vince. I am a huge fan of legacy. All right. Your legacy extends far beyond your actual life on the earth. Martin Luther King died in 1968. Okay. He was 38 years old. It is 2022. Okay. 54 years later. And my kids know about Martin Luther King.
Yeah, you can say the same thing about, look at Jackie Robinson, bro.
Jackie Robinson. Yeah, exactly. That's a good one. Jesse Owens is another one. He's in the 30s. So there's a lot of people who have left amazing legacies throughout their time on the earth, and I don't believe that it's worth tarnishing your legacy as a
I
wrestler
agree with that. I
in the
agree with
wrestling
that.
sphere. I don't think it's worth tarnishing your legacy for a buck. I just
I
won't do it.
agree with that. I said
Like
that with Taker. I said that with Taker so many times. I agree with that, bro.
we saw that with Shawn Michaels' last match in Saudi. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
man, you've been gone for all this time, and I mean, Shawn Michaels is one of the greatest ever, and he still, I mean, he to this day was like, man, I shouldn't have done that. You know what I mean? Like, and I agree because that match was
I agree.
atrocious.
I agree
It was atrocious.
wholeheartedly. Yep.
And the last thing we know about Shawn Michaels, you know, it's called a recency bias. Here's my psychology coming out. It's called a recency bias. And so the last thing that we see about Shawn Michaels is that horrendous match with him and Triple H against the Brothers of Destruction in Saudi.
And Chris, I'm going to tell you this, bro. Austin's a very prideful guy. 1000%. Austin is not a cash the check guy, bro. I'm telling you that's not what Austin is about, bro. That's why I'm having a real difficult time seeing this happen unless Steve will give you a $10 million paycheck. I mean, at that point, he's an idiot if he doesn't, because bro, he is a very prideful guy. I'm telling you, bro.
Yeah, and you know, and people were trying to crap on him for him not wanting to take the job to Brock early, and I was totally pro Austin on that one. You know, I'm like, man, I didn't have any issue with Austin doing that. Like, wait a minute. He's a business guy. Like, wait, I don't mind putting someone over, but you got to build this up more. Like, we got to get some buy-in here. I'm not just going to do the job to someone. I've got a whole brand to protect. So if I'm going to put Brock over, no, you need to be building this up and not just some random. Booker T did that too in TNA. You know, he's like, hold on, I think it was Matt Morgan that they wanted him. They wanted him to put over, and Book's like, no, like I don't mind. It's not about putting him over. I need to protect myself too, and not just look like some J Brown out here. You know what I mean? And I from a business standpoint, I would do that too any day of the week. Like, no, I'm not just like and that when you talk about people speaking up for themselves, Vince, like Big E and all these people who should be doing that, I wholeheartedly agree with that type of approach, 100%.
Yeah.
Next we have the Damien Priest defeating AJ Styles, Vince. Like, what is this? You have AJ Styles beating Damien Priest, and this is as 50-50 as you can get. And AJ is a number one of 5 contenders to possibly win the WWE Championship, and he's losing to Damien Priest, whose stock has plummeted over the past year.
Yeah, I got here. You got 2 weeks of nothing. This was 2 weeks of none. I won this week. You win this week.
Yeah,
we had 2 weeks of filler. That's it. That's all it was, bro. This is the stuff you do on house shows. One night Priest goes over, the next night AJ goes over, that's what you do on house shows, bro.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what you do.
Yep, 100%. Alexa Bliss does the therapy segment. There was a couple, so we'll the whole piece of Lily, and then we'll talk about the end at the end here. Omos defeating Hurt Business. Why, Vince? Please, what is this?
Absolutely nothing for almost. Absolutely zero, nothing. I wonder, bro. I wonder if the guys in the Herb. I wonder if they asked that question. I wonder if they asked that question. What does this do for Almo since we don't mean anything? What does it do for him?
I'm surprised that Shelton hasn't spoken up in this type of setting. Like, it seemed like he would have a little bit more stroke than expected. I know that they let him go for a while and they brought him back just to be kind of an enhancement. And he kind of was that for a while. And the Hurt Business was kind of lightning in a bottle. But he's back to that. But I would imagine, like, you know, him and Brock are buddies. And so I imagine with, you know, Brock having this much focus, he has, you know, Shelton's like, bro, like, come on, give someone a nudge here. Like, this is atrocious here. I don't know what the heck is going on. Like, and they're heels. They're supposed to be heels. And Omos is being built as a heel. Who's getting over here? Like, Omos isn't getting heat because he's beating two people that people don't like.
Yeah.
How is that getting heat?
Not only don't like them, but mean absolutely nothing.
It's like it's even worse because it's a non-factor. Like, they're non-factors. They don't receive any reaction. You know what I mean? Some reaction is better than none. And they've received zero reaction. That's the worst type of reaction that you can get. Yeah. We get a 24/7 segment. Anything on that?
I just think it's hysterical, bro. How Dana Brooke is sitting there eating dinner wearing the belt. Really, that's how bad we're going to make this, that she's going to be sitting there wearing the belt, which is so campy and so stupid. Bro, I thought a guy wasn't allowed to pin the girl. Did something change in this show that I missed?
Well, Tamina's the one. So it seems like Akira Tozawa is the scapegoat for Tamina to try to get Dana Brooke. Because Tozawa thought that they were going to eat. And then Tamina said, no, we're not going to eat anything. We're, basically I'm here for the title. So it's a Tamina thing.
But then Reggie pinned Dana Brooke and took the title.
Oh, I must have missed that.
Yeah. Reggie pinned Dana Brooke and took the title. I'm like, wait a minute. Did I miss something? Bro, what's that? Did I miss the All Elite show? What's that show that they got? That if you miss that show, you don't know what's going on? What is it called?
Oh, Being the Elite.
Yeah, was that on Being the Elite? Did they change it? Did I miss Being the Elite? Yeah, no, bro. Reggie pinned Dana and is now the champion.
Oh, man. I missed it. I totally missed that part.
Yeah, bro. So I don't know.
I was so like,
oh, bro, you don't got to explain to me. No, Chris, please. You don't have to explain to me, bro. Please.
Wow.
Yeah.
So he won it in the restaurant?
Yeah. Yep. He rolled her up in the restaurant. She kicked her little feet.
I'm looking at it now.
Yeah, she kicked her little feet, and he's the champ.
Oh, wow. So, he won it.
Yeah.
So the whole we're friends thing led to Reggie winning the title. And so, but before they couldn't, she had a halo on her because, oh God.
Unless I missed something, bro.
Oh, so she's going for the hug.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
I missed it. I probably just I checked out. I probably just checked out. I probably saw. I mean, I see the whole, Tamina and Tozawa.
Yeah.
And then I just probably checked out after that. Wow. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, Broker Party segment. And then this is the one. Okay, so this is another segment. Then after is the one that got crashed, right?
Yeah.
The third Broker Party segment. So we get this contract signing for the women's championship. So we get a dejected Becky Lynch begging Lita not to move forward with the match. This is what we got. Acting wise, I think Becky did
was that Becky Lynch?
It was
because
Becky Lynch.
The first half of the promo, I thought Cyndi Lauper had returned. I thought with that outfit, I thought Cindy. Then we
she returns time after time, Vince.
Yeah, then we went from Cyndi Lauper and we made the transition to some crazy bag lady. She became a crazy bag lady at some point, bro. I don't know who's telling Becky to, bro. You notice she's in a habit, and part of her character and her delivery is she's constantly repeating her words. You notice that? That's what Becky does. Yeah,
the focus groups. The focus groups wants Joey for your explanations.
Time out. Give me a timeout. Get Joey in the room.
Time out, Joey. Time out, Joey.
All right, so we're now dressing like Cyndi Lauper, and then we're turning into crazy bag lady. Yes. We have bro. Does she have Tourette's? Is it a Tourette's thing where she keeps repeating words over and over again?
She's showing her true colors.
I don't, bro. I don't.
I've got puns for days, bro, Vince.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I've got nothing against Becky Lynch. I told you, she won me over a little bit by putting over her family first and her little baby. I thought that was great. But I swear to God, bro, if I'm a writer there and if I'm producing Becky Lynch, this is what I'm saying. I am not bullshitting you. I am watching this show and I'm watching this and I'm going up to her and I'm asking this question. Becky, what are you doing? Like, explain to me, like, what are you doing? Every week you appear as somebody else. You were Elton John one week. Now we're doing the Cyndi Lauper. Now we're the crazy. You need to explain to me what you're doing so I can understand your vision and try to help you. It's the same with Seth Rollins. Like, bro, what are you? Like, outside of the laugh, what are you? Bro, they're just letting these characters run free with no type of just focus on who they are and what they represent. Like I said, bro, Becky Lynch changes week to week to week to week to week to week. I don't know who she is, bro.
Other than a girl who just wants to have fun. That's all she really wants. Right? Vince, I gave you, come on, man, put my puns over. I gave you 3 songs.
You gave me time after time. You gave me true colors.
True colors, and I gave you
girls want to have fun. I think you threw did you throw a she bop in there?
Not yet, no. Put my puns over, Vince. Come on. I know Becky Lynch is getting on your nerves, but I hope my puns, I'm trying to make this whole thing better with my Cyndi Lauper puns, okay?
I'm just like, Becky, explain to me what you're doing and what you're trying to come across, because it's not clear.
I agree 100%, man. There's no continuity here for Rebecca, as
Rebecca, as
Ronda Rousey would call her, Rebecca. Next we get the Bianca Belair wins the gauntlet match. Good showing for Rhea Ripley. And again, I'm a big Bianca Belair fan, so this puts her over. Do they really sink their teeth in really focusing on putting Bianca over, though? Do they have her win the match at Elimination Chamber to go against Becky at WrestleMania?
Well, bro, first of all, here's what I did not like here, and here's what I did not understand here. They're keeping Bianca Belair strong, but they've also been keeping Rhea Ripley strong, right? Bro, all the finish had to be was Bianca Belair on the outside selling, okay? Nikki Cross comes back in through the back door after Rhea Ripley had already eliminated her. Get heat on Nikki Cross. She does something to Rhea Ripley. Bianca Belair does not see it, bro. She's on the outside selling, doesn't see it. All of a sudden, she gets up. Nikki Cross is out of town. Rhea Ripley's down in the middle of the ring. Bianca Belair crawls on her 1, 2, 3 for the cover. Then you do the old Bianca Belair's walking up the ramp, and she now sees the replay for the first time.
And she should run out and chase Nikki to keep her baby.
And then, well, I was going to say, and then from there, come back from commercial break, and Rhea Ripley is just wiping the backstage area with Nikki Cross.
Yeah,
that's all you. Now they're both protected.
Yeah.
Why would you beat Rhea Ripley here when you don't have to, bro? There's so many creative ways to get out of this.
I agree. Yeah, I think in their minds the protection was going through the gauntlet.
Exactly. It was, but no, bro. That's not enough. You didn't have to beat her, bro.
I agree. I think it could have been a way to protect her a little bit more. But here's the thing, though. What are they protecting her for? Because it seems like they might get ASH.
That's
I mean, what do you do with Rhea? I mean, Bayley, she may come back. Do you do Rhea versus Bayley, at WrestleMania? That could be an option. But what do you protecting her for? Oh, Joey's back. 2-timer. I love it. Let's do it.
Time out, Joey. Time out, Joey.
Bro, this potential WrestleMania card, which you have been speaking of all night, with these Bayley versus Rhea Ripley and Austin. Bro, I want that night off. Please. I'm taking off. I'm taking off the night of WrestleMania. If this card is gonna look like anything, your Roman, bro, here's what we got so far. Roman Reigns against Goldberg, Austin against
Brock.
Austin against Kevin Owens, Bayley, the big one, against Rhea Ripley.
Yeah.
Oh my God, bro. Yeah. What happened? What has happened, bro?
Then you'll have, it's just so many things up in the air
Reggie versus Dana Brooke.
Yeah, we can't forget that. How dare I forget this?
Rey Mysterio against The Miz. That's going
to happen. Yeah,
that's going to be a big one.
That is going to happen. Yeah. So 6 weeks. We're 6 weeks out though. That's 6 weeks out. 6 weeks out from WrestleMania, and this is we don't even have a conclusive card. There should have been things stemming from Survivor Series.
Well, bro,
and being built into this should be this should be adding more layers to an already finished product.
Bro, I never saw anything. I don't know if for as long as I've been watching, I've ever seen any weaker booking than this. You're talking about, this should have been weeks of months of planning and building. Bro, what about the way they put Alexa Bliss in the... Bro, have you ever seen anything horrible. More lame? I've never seen anything like that in my life.
Saturday,
what, Chris, that I was gonna say that's borderline pathetic. No, it's not borderline. That's pathetic. That's how you get bro. We've seen 6 weeks of lame vignettes leading nowhere, and that's how you put her in that match.
And you've been putting all the we've got question marks for week after week after week, and we're building to this big old mystery. Who's going to be there's so many people that were it's going to be Bayley. It's going to be a returning such and such. And after all of that, it's therapy segment. The conclusion of the therapy segment is just for her to be the sixth person.
So weak, bro. This was one of the weakest things I've ever seen, bro.
It's horrible. It was absolutely horrible. Talking about payoffs. This was a horrible payoff, man. And I don't see her winning it either. And I don't want her to win. I don't want her. I do not want to see Alexa Bliss versus Becky Lynch at WrestleMania.
Bro, how many women are in the chamber match?
6.
Let me see if I can name them for you. I've been watching this show every week.
Okay.
Let me see if the only reason I can probably name them for you is because of this match tonight. So it's Belair,
Yep.
Ripley, Doudrop, Alexa Bliss, Liv, bro. Don't Nikki Cross is in this match.
Yep. Nikki and Liv.
You think Nikki Cross will win it? I think Nikki Cross or Liv are going to win it. Or Liv are going to win it, I think.
Yeah. No, we'll probably see Doudrop and Becky Lynch too.
Yeah. At WrestleMania, bro. Becky Lynch,
WrestleMania. Heel versus heel. Yeah.
Deuce. Yes, for WrestleMania. Yes.
Yeah. Heel versus heel. This might as well. Yeah. We get the Broga party with Alpha Academy crashing. Then they go out and beat the Mysterios because the Miz interferes, and so I called it. Last week I called it. Like, we're going to see the Miz versus Mysterio at Mania. I see it. I see it more and more right now. See, here's my thing on this, Vince. On paper, I don't mind Rey Mysterio versus the Miz to be a WrestleMania match if booked properly. Now, I don't mind that on paper, but again, I just don't I'm not convinced by something that's just on paper. You've got to give me a story with it. You've got to give me some build with it.
Do we know? I mean, bro, as of now, like I said, I've been watching this every week. You've been watching this every week. Bro, what do you know what the issue is here? Like, what's the issue?
The 2K22 post cover.
Well, Miz wanted to be on it.
Yep.
You're ribbing me, right?
No, that's serious.
Miz wanted to be on the cover, but Ray got the cover. Thus,
yep, WrestleMania.
Oh my god!
Let's see here. We don't get everything with the Miz. Let's see. Let's put him in a. Okay, so what do you guys? What do you think? Rey Mysterio, 2K22, Miz. Right? Are you good with that? I don't get it. I don't get how they really think that this is riveting enough. And I'm going to put them over. I'll put the WWE over. I was skeptical at first with the whole Bad Bunny thing last year, but I think they nailed it. I think that he did a very good job at WrestleMania. I was super impressed for Bad Bunny. I think it was a good idea. Because I remember the shows last year leading up to this with you and I was skeptical in the beginning, and then I started to get into it a bit, and then they only plugged it as like a singles match with like Priest and Morrison at the being in the corners. I was like, oh, that's stupid. Like that, you don't do that. You got to protect Bad Bunny and put Damien Priest in the match. Then eventually they did put Priest in the match, and I think it was a good idea. I think Bad Bunny was helpful in pushing and getting Damien Priest on that level, and they end up capitalizing that, giving him the U.S. Championship. But I'm like, man, what a year! What a difference a year makes, because the buy-in for this feud, I am totally not interested in. This is a horrible and very lazy booking right here that we see with this. Super lazy. If you would have just off the top of your head, you were given by Vince, I want to see Rey Mysterio and The Miz. I want to see that as a marquee match from WrestleMania. Where would you go? You don't have to give me the whole thing, because I know it's going to take some time, but where would you go initially with that? Rey Mysterio.
You want to know where I would have went with it, bro? But bro, this they're PG now. They can't even do this, bro. Give me a break with bro. I'm gonna give people a little hint. In the email exchange with me, Vince used the PG, bro. He used the PG.
Oh, did he?
Bro, I'll tell you what I would have done. I would have done, and this would have been written in such a crafty way where you didn't know. Okay, bro? I would have Maurice accusing Dominic of hitting on her and being inappropriate her to the point of her saying he raped her. Wow. That and bro, I would do it in such a way where there would be a shred of, wait a minute, did he? I mean, that I would make it personal. This is really, really personal, but write it in such a way where he could have. You know what I'm saying? Where like you really don't know. And then, of course, you finish off the story by, having something very creative where it's proven that he's not. But that's what I would have done. You got a good looking young kid. You got a beautiful woman who could be seducing him, then accusing him of hitting on her. And I mean, my God, bro, you could have made that so real and so personal and so interesting and sexy and storyline. But nah, bro, it's a 2K game.
Yeah, it's 2K. It's 2K. That's more riveting, Vince. Your idea, the focus group is they're buying it. They
bro, especially so she's such a beautiful woman, and he's such an innocent kid.
Yeah.
But can you imagine then, bro, if it was the swerve and he really did? I mean, you can go that direction too, because he's such an innocent, and that's how you turn him heel against.
I was gonna say that'd be a good heel turn. Yeah.
That's how you turn him heel again. I did that. I did, and I loved every minute of it. I mean, my God, bro, that's your heel turn. Riveting. Yeah. But no, bro, we're not gonna think that through. We're PG, bro. We're gonna play beer pong. That's as dangerous as we're gonna get, bro. We're gonna play beer pong, bro.
And even Maurice, I like it. So I'm cool with as far as the hitting on her and things like that. I think you can make that very riveting. And even if you do the Dominic heel turn, like I did hit on her, and then it's all a swerve. I did hit on her, but the Miz wanted me to hit on her for the sake of beating you. You know what I mean? And
absolutely.
Absolutely,
bro.
And then Maurice can manage Miz and Dominic for a second.
Bro, there's so much if you just sat down and thought about it and planned it out. And all right, week 1, this is going to happen in week 2, and then here's the week before WrestleMania. That's what you got to do, bro. We weren't writing Kane and Undertaker by the seat of our pants. We knew what was going to happen every single step of the way, bro.
Yeah, for sure. We talked about the therapy segment and led to the mystery spot on Elimination Chamber. Multiple weeks of therapy sessions just for that.
The old stuffings of the original Lily is in the new Lily, so Lily's spirit is alive.
And again, what do we do with that when it comes to Alexa Bliss? Like, it's like, so she's a time between the Harley Quinn still and the goddess. Like, she's like both of her previous gimmicks in one.
Bro, do you know why they're doing this?
No, I don't.
I'm going to tell you why, bro. And I got to give credit to Ben Hameen because he's right. He's right. Bro, do you remember why Shorty G?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know why he was Shorty G?
I did, but I don't remember because it was.
Bro, the shirt he was wearing, that was Enzo's merch. So they let Enzo go. They just got that made, bro. They probably had 10,000 of those shirts in the warehouse. Thus, Shorty G. Bro, that's what they did with the Lily doll. I'm telling you, bro, when she was doing the thing with the Fiend, they had that Lily doll mass produced, and bro, they've got 10 million Lily dolls sitting in the warehouse now that they need to sell. I'm telling you, bro,
that makes sense.
That's the only reason they're doing it. The only reason, bro.
That makes sense. Yeah, and she needed some time off, and so they did the whole ripping up the Lily to give her time off. And now, in order to keep those dolls sold, they'll implement her back.
if you remember a couple of episodes ago, the psychiatrist brought up the WWE Shop Zone. Remember, he brought it up. He brought it up, bro.
Wow, that's a very subtle plant right there to have to buy the Lily dolls. So. All right, let's close it up.
Bro, that happened to me one time. I swear to God, I'll remember. It happened to me one time, and I looked at Dixie, and I'm like, "You out of your mind?" I remember we wanted to break up Bear Money. James Storm and Robert Roode. We wanted to break them up. They had a nice long run, and everything. Now we wanted to break them up, and Dixie turned around and talked about how many Beer Money T-shirts they were selling. And I just looked at him like, "Are you freaking kidding me?" No, Dixie, they'll sell separate shirts, but that's exactly what's going on there, bro.
Wow, very interesting. I can definitely see that. Seth Rollins beating Randy Orton. Is this one of those Randy Orton loses so he gets frustrated and end up turning on Riddle type deals?
Well, bro, this should be explained next week. He should be hot at Riddle. Yeah. Going into next week, that should be the story. So the question is, are they going to follow up on that, or is it just going to be forgotten?
I think they will follow up on it because I can certainly see, like, it definitely seems like there's some tension there, and I think the turn is going to be during the tag title match, and we'll see Orton versus Riddle at WrestleMania. Now, here's the issue. Like, they're really that means that they're really going to expand Alpha Academy all the way out to like going to Mania with the titles. Like, that's a bit of a surprise for me. And then who's going to beat them though? What team's going to beat
Demolition?
I didn't think of that.
That's bringing back Axe and Smash, bro.
That's it. Here comes the Axe, and here comes the Smash. I'm putting in my guitar. The Demolition, wrecking disasters.
Yeah.
That. See, I'm a sucker for WWE theme songs. That's why I've interviewed over 300 pro wrestlers. I think I'm at like 17 WWE Hall of Famers now, maybe even more. And super blessed to write for mega outlets, for Sports Illustrated, Fox Sports. I was at Bleacher Report for over 3 years as a featured columnist. So in the past 10 years, I've done some really cool things in the journalism industry. But one of my favorite interviews out of all the people I've interviewed was Jim Johnston. I marked when I interviewed Jim Johnston because I was like, dude, we've got to play some stuff live because like I really am a sucker for old school WWE things.
That stuff, bro.
No, because it was original. Like he was actually playing Taker's. He was in the studio.
He was still with them at the time.
No, this was last year.
Really?
Yeah, he was playing. He was in a studio. So he would like talk about the song, and then he would go his piano. He played Taker's song. He was in a studio. He went over. He talked, and he went over to his piano, and he started playing Taker's song on the piano. It was pretty cool.
Oh, I'm surprised because bro, I've actually talked to him about having his own podcast, and that's exactly what we do. But he doesn't own any of that music, and he just didn't want to. He just, at the end of the day, he didn't want to deal with the WWE.
Interesting. Yeah. Wow. I can see why, he get flagged. Yeah, he didn't get flagged though. So, yeah. I mean, he played the tune. I mean, he played the tune. He didn't like play all the bells and whistles with it. So it actually wasn't the song. It was just the tune of the song.
Yeah, that's all you need. Yeah.
So it didn't get flagged because it wasn't the song, but it was pretty cool. I loved it. It was one of my favorite interviews.
That's awesome. Yeah, he's an awesome man, bro.
Yeah. Yep. Cool, man. You know who else is an awesome guy? Vince Russo. Let him know about the brand, my man.
Guys, I'm telling you, this is the week. I'm just going to plug the Patreon, bro, because I give you my last email and Vince's last email, which I choose not to even respond to. So you could check that out, bro. Patreon.com. Bro, I wanted to respond so badly. So bad. Chris, listen, you and I are Christian gentlemen.
Yes,
and I
indeed.
wanted to respond so badly. And I'm like, nope, I'm going to take the high road here and not respond at all. And you guys can get those emails at patreon.com/Russo TWC.
Very nice. Everybody, to the best of your ability, enjoy the Elimination Chamber. We will be back here discussing it, bits and pieces of it next week during the Raw show. Hey, look, ladies and gentlemen, we're on the road to WrestleMania. Remember what was that? That was in Toronto, right? When they were that was in Pontiac. That was when they had the 90,000 WrestleMania 3.
Oh yeah,
right?
Pontiac 3.
Yeah. Welcome to WrestleMania. Yeah. He was pretty excited about that 90K.
Yeah.
But that was when wrestling was super cool and people would congregate together. Even casual fans would just congregate together and just watch wrestling. Now you've got your little big pocket of wrestlers wrestling fans saying, "This is awesome."
Bro, I was just reading an interview a couple hours ago, bro, a very recent interview with Brock Lesnar. Cutting
on Pat McAfee.
Did you read it?
The one from the Pat McAfee show?
Yeah.
He's talking about he don't care about Rushmore and all that stuff.
Yeah. But talking about, did you read the part talking about today's wrestlers?
No, I don't think.
He got into about, they all think it's about a move and hitting a move. Like he really went there, bro.
Hey, more power to him, man. More power to him. I agree.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, enjoy your week of wrestling to the best of your ability. Until then, Vince and I will be brewing in our cauldron, trying to figure out what to roast next, ladies and gentlemen. So enjoy this episode until the next one. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night,
everybody. And remember that Steiner math, ladies and gentlemen, because Samoa Joe is coming after you. And Kurt Angle knows you don't beat him.